What's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis Podcast. This is your host, Vikka Draziv. Guys, welcome to the show. Hope you guys are doing great today. Another Sunday here on Heliopsychosis. Yes, time is flying really fast. Somebody is like cranking up the cycle. Looks like we're almost like in the August of 2025. Yeah, let's see how it goes. And yes, we are here on another episode of this review of the Debacle Debate, right? I don't know how many more episodes we might need to complete this shit, but we don't have hurry because we really wanna dig in with what these people are up to. So yes, get your coffee, tea, split, wine, whatever makes you comfortable, and let's start today's party. Yep. Before I'm going would like to play a few things to get warmed up a bit, and we'll jump into it. So I'm gonna start with DJ New Moon's video. Shout out to DJ New Moon. I saw him here earlier in the chat for the amazing song. So let's play that first. Damn, nice tunes and nice beats and amazing editing. So shout out to DJ New Moon for that one. And then I'm gonna be playing this.
Copper. First of all, before I tell you, you must understand the meridians of the human body. So your body has these meridian lines. It's basically how electrical energy flows through the body through these lines and gives energy to these specific organs and places within your body. Now, copper, the atoms of copper vibrate very highly and they give off a lot of etheric energy. So by wearing copper, this is the flow of energy within your body. Okay, so let's say you have a joint pain in your wrist, you'd wear a copper, bracelet, and this will enhance the energy flow and give energy to these bones and meridians, which will help rejuvenate the wrist. Or you can just wear them in general to increase the flow of electrical energy within your body and sync up with a higher consciousness.
Oh yeah, copper, an amazing metal, amazing electrical conductivity, and you see the differences once you use it. And yep, many other things and research about what could be our real color of the blood, right? Connecting with the blue, what also the copper emits when it touches your skin. So amazing stuff. If anybody wants to get one, you have the link in the description. To get, you have to go to my coffee page in the shop section. You're going to find these amazing bracelets. They are not unlimited. They are quite exclusive, and so if you can want to get one, yeah, do check it out. And also you can find the link of Gene's amazing art stuff if you want to get one too. And speaking about Gene, I don't know if Gene may be able to join us tonight because he's looks like he's a bit under the weather tonight, so hope you get well, brother, soon. And yes, anybody else, if you want to join in on today's conversation, you have the link right up there. Anybody is welcome to add it to what we are trying to speak today. And even before we get into the real review of the debate, I do want to mention that Mr. Will Duffy is, as I said, he's up to the shenanigans, right? About now with this final debate sheet. Like recently, he just uploaded a video where he's speaking about the good deed that he's going to do with this debate. Like he's invited flat earthers, the original 24 flat earthers, the list he had, that he, one of those, few of those 24 flat earthers. So he's offering to give $500 each if these people show up on the debate. And he's speaking about a fundraiser for an NGO, right? Imagine all these things like connecting all this emotional thing and doing good deed through an NGO, fundraising, using TFE, and like luring flat earther again, like free money, free trip, come to me, entertain and get. The people are not freaking really getting that, right? What the fuck he's up to right now with this debate? Fundraising for NGO. He wants to raise $10,000. Damn, if it's real, if that NGO is real, I don't know. Maybe it's, but with Will Duffy trying to do some good deeds through FE, through TFE, using flat earthers. Holy shit. What are you up to, Will Duffy? Right? You love flat earthers so much. Yeah. You're throwing out money, right? Everywhere. Really, what are you looking for, Mr. Will Duffy? We all know your whole TFE was a freaking psyop, bullshit, fake, right? So, with this debate, what you're up to. The debate is supposed to be on 23rd of August at 3 p.m., right? Let's see who makes it. He said that it's an open link. Let's see. Let's see what happens, right? It looks like offering $500 for each of these guys. Whoever show up, he's gonna donate it to that NGO or 501 kind of organization, right? We know a lot of organizations are there, right? Taking clips of people in need and putting some emotional music and some people behind. We know how the cons work, right? So it's like hitting on the nerves of the emotional nerves of the people to get what the fuck he wants with this TFE shit. So let's see where the hell this goes. Alrighty. So we're gonna start with our
Okay, what is up, guys? Everything went wrong for the first
like
time.
always. Yeah. So I'm gonna go half the way because that's where we were, or more or less. Alrighty, guys, hit that freaking like button and yes, share the show. And for anyone who wants to join in is welcome. Alrighty.
I want to ask,
It's calculated. It's a calculated presupposition based on the actual astronomical
how is it a
latitude.
presupposition if it's the measurement of miles?
Yeah,
It's not a
gentlemen, that
measurement.
is
You
time.
measure one. Okay.
But I'm
That is
saying if
time,
we-
John.
I just think if we measured,
That's the time of like open.
That's the open cross exam time.
Yeah.
that's really
30
short.
minutes.
We
30
could've gone
minutes has
forever.
been completed.
Yeah, it's
Schedule
whack.
number 2. I guess schedule number 2. We'll have some other stuff because I had some other things I wanted to show people. But I do think, Austin, one thing that, and maybe I'll find something specific for you, but I think that you need to watch my show. I get it. I do too many live streams. You don't want to watch it. I get it. But it's also the same thing that every other flat earther's done. So all I see is people running around saying, we don't understand what Jaren's doing. We don't understand. But I've literally done an entire series, an unplugged series of 12 episodes where I went through every single evidence and every single piece and explained it thoroughly. So if people don't understand my position, or why do I just accept refraction? Well, it's because once I saw that the South operates as the globe calls for, and then we saw the sun setting right to left in the South. So that immediately, let me give.
Yep, refraction, really. Yep, nothing tangible you guys have, right? There's always there like something that you cannot really pinpoint it down, right? The amount of refraction in all these kind of observation is so much minute. Yeah, and this is what they want to hold to: the refraction, the gravity, shit that you cannot even prove, right? Optical phenomena can be happening in different ways with the layers they are. In the layers they are, ice is going to be different, water is going to be different, land is going to be different, time is going to be different, right? You cannot have a fucking refraction in 270-mile observation where you have to be miles of curvature between those observations. So you are telling people that few miles of curvature is happening through that refraction, right? It's refracting up so much. Are you that dumb, Jared? Really? Yeah, and the sun coming from the south. Show freaking on your globe. Take a fucking globe, take few lights, and show to us how there is no 24-hour sun in Punta Arenas, and you have it right there, right? And on the opposite side, you have the sun rising and setting. Show us on your globe. Show it to us. Just saying it not going to help it, right? Demonstrate. Real science is repeatable, right? You are claiming that the sun is coming from the other side. Show it to us on a globe.
One example because I think it's my best proof that nobody's been able to. I mean, come up with an answer for. And I didn't even know this. I've never heard a glober say it. But everybody who's in the north, when you look at a sunrise or sunset, so I'm talking about looking east or west only, not north, not south. We're looking at sunrise or sunset. The sun will rise left to right and it will set left to right in the north for every single person every day of the year, no matter what. End of story. In the south, they see the opposite thing. Okay, so every single sunrise for every single person in the south for every day of the year goes right to left, and every single sunset goes right to left. When we were in Punta Arenas, we saw the sunset severely right to left, way different than we've ever seen before. The sun's never done that to any of us in our lives, because the south is the inverse of the north. Now, get this. This is the paradox of flat Earth. Can an item that's going in one direction be seen by two people looking in the same direction to be going in opposite directions?
Oh, yeah. Why not? Depending on the perspective and the location. The same thing happens with the star trails, right? You can see the star trails even from the same place going in different direction the way you are facing to the north, south, east, or west, right? There are points on equator or places where you might see the same star trails moving in a different direction. It's about perspective. The sky is optical, right? You have the layer, you have the hydrogen, you have the gases. Yeah, that's too far for you, Jiren, and Mr. Austin too.
I know it sounds convoluted, but if you have two people in the north and the south both looking west at the same sunset, we're talking about the same sunset, can they see it going in opposite directions if the earth is flat? How would that be possible, right? So you'd have a sun going around, and you'd have people south and north looking west, the sun's setting, so it would always go to the right. On any flat earth that there'll ever be, it'll go to the right. But we saw it going to the left. Now, here's the crazy thing. Do you know if somebody on the day that we saw the sunset right to left in Punta, if you were in the north, you saw the sun set left to right. So imagine that. We're in the south watching the sun go left. They're in the north watching the sun go right. That's a paradox on a flat earth. How could you have two?
Forget about what it was doing then, Punta Arenas. Show us on a globe the same light phenomena is happening. Yeah, he wants us to believe that the whole star trail is moving in different direction because everybody is upside down on a globe. So the same thing is happening with the 24-hour sun. Everybody is upside down, right? Show it to us. What do you have? A globe moving in two different directions? Yep. Right? On your model, oh, it's perspective, and because we are upside down and everything is opposite, right? The perspective doesn't work on flat earth, right?
People looking the same direction have a sun going in two opposite directions. Well, the reason is there is a shape that would call for that to happen. There's a shape that
Jiren,
says,
do you want me to submit that question to Austin? Austin, do you want to answer that question real quick before we move on to the next segment?
Well, I'm ready to move on. I want to make like a meta point though that I feel like everyone wants to say, since you kind of got that off. Give me like a 30-second thing and then we'll move on. Whatever. This is the issue.
I'll give you 1 minute.
Okay.
Take a minute.
I want to say this again. Okay. It's like we saw something we didn't previously have access to. It requires us firming the consequent. You don't know how it works on the globe. You reified the AE model. I get all that. It doesn't automatically wash out all the geometric refutations of why flat Earth is a thing in the first place. That is my.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Yeah. He's telling you to accept what he's saying, but don't ignore the rest of the proof. You need to fucking debunk him. What's wrong with the observation, Austin? Not saying just because you saw something like this, you cannot deny the rest of the shit, and now you're gonna tell the rest of the shit that everybody knows. Yeah. Call him out. If you're fucking real flat earther, call him out. What the fuck is the problem with this observation? No, you can just deny because you saw something, because you want him and everybody else to believe that what you saw and he saw is real. We are trying to figure it out how it's going to work on flat earth, but you are wrong. You cannot deny the rest of the shit because we see this. Come on, sell out.
point. That is my point, though. You would have to then diligently, logically, go provide sufficient rebuttals to all of those geometric refutations, or it doesn't matter what you're still stuck
What
with.
happened to falsification is independent of replacement?
Yep, this is the thing, right? Don't debunking on what he's claiming it to be. Yeah, because you're freaking part of it. That's the reason, right?
That's my point. That's my point.
What do you mean?
Right?
You're
The globes
telling- didn't you say I have to replace those things? So you're saying I have to do that.
No, I'm saying you actually have to address the geometric refutations, not replace anything. You're asking us to replace
second.
the globe explanation. Wait, you're asking us to replace the globe explanation, or it must be a globe. That's what you're doing. I'm saying we falsified the globe explanation over here with like 100 things, and then you're just you have selective amnesia.
No, I
All
want
right,
you,
so gentlemen, before I want to jump in real quick because we could go on all night, I'm sure. And some of these things you're talking about are in some of the questions that have been submitted, so you'll get a chance to readdress some of these things.
Sounds good.
So for the next segment, we'll go 30 minutes here. We'll take questions from the audience. We got quite a few questions coming in, and the questions do seem to be meaty. I think you guys are gonna, have a chance to really dig in with each of these. The majority, I just got to warn you, the majority of the questions are for Jiren. So what I would like to do is I would like to give.
Oh yeah, shout out to the amazing people in the chat and crowd crushing saying this is just partners scamming coins of people that can lose from can, right? Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, we saw it. Believe us, right? But just because this happened, we cannot let the rest of the thing and the proof, right? No. This didn't happen, Mr. Austin. You guys put a shit show up, which was too obvious. I tell you, even the fucking people who wanted to believe in this bullshit might be having a hard time because the way the clown shows you guys have done with the TFE, right?
Each person 2 minutes to address the question. And if it's a question for both of you, then I'll allow each of you one rebuttal for 1 minute after you hear your interlocutor's answer to the question. Are you guys cool with that?
Sounds good.
Yeah, Jerry, you want to go full screen?
Yeah, I can do that.
She looks a little better.
So Austin, just to be clear, you will get a chance to address the questions that are for Jiren as well. So you both get 2 minutes.
I get you. Cool.
Yeah, but whoever the question is addressed to will speak first.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we have Charles is asking, Jiren, how does an observation of the sky change what the floor is?
Okay, because it's something called a measuring stick, right? So just like you can use a ruler, why can we use a ruler to go measure things? Because it's a standard. Every ruler is the same, and so we can use it as a measuring stick. The sun is the biggest and most accurate measuring stick that the world has ever known. It's the most important thing that there ever was. And it is a measuring stick because it moves in very predictable 24-hour fashions. We know exactly where it will be in 400 years, 4,000 years, 40,000 years. We know exactly where it was 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, because it's cyclic, Jiren, not because it's moving through space with all those absurd velocities and different directions and vectors. It doesn't work on your globe. Yes, and it's true, Jiren. It's true that the sun is a ruler, right? Because it rules, it's a measurement tool, right? Right? Measuring the distance, the ground below, the time zones, and it tells you exactly what it's doing in the 24-hour, completing the circle, the cycles, the cyclics. That's how the ancient could have kept the timekeeping, and those devices still worked and exist. All those monuments, all those ancient artifacts and constructions, right? Works with a geocentric stationary Earth, Jiren, right? It's true. The sun is a ruler. You can measure. That's why we have 24-hour time zones. And every time the sun is above at 12 noon, 90 degree, it's 12 noon, right? It's very precise. It's very mathematically, geometrically perfect, which doesn't work on your pseudoscience that you guys claim that is happening.
So that's because the sun works as a measuring stick. So once somebody gives you a map and tells you you live here, the very first thing you should do is see if it jives with the known.
The math, it works on geocentric stationary with those luminaries starting from the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and so on, right? All our cycles. You have the zodiacs, right? You want to go into astrology, right? You want to go into a birth charts and how they work and look like a dial, that every person has his own personal dial, right? The wheel of Ezekiel, right? Cyclic, right? The linear metonic cycles. Everything is very predictable and provable and repeatable on our realm. Nothing is working on your globe pseudoscience.
Measuring stick, because if it doesn't, then guess what? The map is wrong. Period. There is no instance of ever a measuring stick.
How is the map wrong, right? We are understanding the importance of the luminaries in understanding and measuring where the hell we are. So how the hell is the map wrong? Right? It's perfectly Gleason and many other Monte Urbano, and there are many other ancient maps too, right? Works perfectly. Shows you all the time, seasons, and the timings, and all the latitudes and longitude, everything you need to know, and more than hell that you can understand what it's doing, Jiren. But you're too blindfolded, you're too indoctrinated because you're a sellout.
Being wrong when it's actually the measuring stick, right? So you can never have, oh, this measuring is wrong because this ruler's wrong. Well, then the ruler's not a measuring stick if it's wrong. Just like the sun, it wouldn't be a measuring.
So the connection of the sky and the ground, we understand, right? We have a patent and a very working, functional map. Alrighty, we are not saying it's perfect, but it's much more working and functional than your toy globe, Jaren. Yeah, you know that it's for educational. It's not for educational purposes, right? If it was like that, in every ship, in every plane, in every thing that moves, you would have a small mini globe there being used as an instrument. Do you know that the AE map and the Air Marshal map, and there are many other maps that you don't know about, and projections that uses the real flat earth map to navigate? Because if people would rely on your fucking fake globe, people would be dead, lost.
Device if it was wrong. It's perfect. That's why we use it for calendars, for dates, for time, everything, time, you name it. The sun.
Yeah, you see how he moved the calendar, the date, the time? Yeah, because you're fucking lying.
Is used for that. So if you can observe something that is not possible on the map somebody gives you, then you can immediately hand them the map back and say, you're wrong. I don't live here. Well, guess what? That's what the AE map has had happen. Now I get Austin's point. He's saying he doesn't believe in an AE map, but then.
So you heard that. He doesn't believe in the AE map. Why the fuck are you representing flat earther? Why the fuck did you go to TFE representing as a flat earther, Mr. Austin? If you don't believe in the AE map, why the hell you are there still representing the flat earth? Right? So that you guys understand, the so-called one of the representative don't believe in the AE map. What the fuck do you believe in, bro? What the fuck do you believe in? Tell us, which map do you believe in? Then he's gonna say, oh, right, the same usual shit, right? independence of whatever shit he says that of replacement, right? Just because we don't have one doesn't mean we have to bring the hell out, dude.
What then? You don't believe in anything? Then the Earth doesn't have a shape or a look. Do we? Can you give me any idea what the world looks like? Because if you're going to tell me it's a flat Earth, then it has to be flat. And I know that the only flat map that can exist is the A map. Now you can disagree with that all you want. I spent 6 months trying to figure it out, and then I got to the point where I said, "Oh, because the A map has, or because a flat map has to have the continents laid out correctly, has to have the tropics and the equator. Therefore, the only map that will ever be flat is the AE map." Now, you could say I think Austin says,
This is the problem because these you are mixing it up with the models. All right. One place he's gonna speak about the sky and it's important with the ground, and then he's speaking about the ground and forgetting about the sky. Dude, if you're combining the two, you need to combine the two, right? Show us with the luminaries on your globe model, right? How the perfect observations and calculations and observations are happening. There's nothing scientific about the globe. You guys stole everything and tried to wrap it around the globe, right? You don't do nothing kind of prediction how it's been predicted from thousands of years, right? The ancients have always understood the cyclic phenomena of the sky, right? We started using maths. We understood maths because of the sky, because of the divine, the stamp of the divine that we see not only above us, in us, and around us, right? The beauty of this intelligent design and what it is and how perfect and precise it is can be seen in everything that exists, Mr. Jiren. Doesn't fit on a globe. Because this is the real problem. The controllers want that the people believe in this shit, right? In the globe. Because, or it's an intelligent creation, or it's an accident. You are a fucking accident, dude, Jiren, for sure.
there's a bipolar model that completely destroys all observations. Again, if you have a bipolar model, the sun would be coming up the other side, so it would be rising in the west to people in Russia and Africa. Just it doesn't make any sense. It's never. That's why you've never heard it pushed, because this is why there's no other map pushed. Have you ever wondered why there's no other flat Earth map?
Thank you, Jiren. That's
Let me know
time.
when the 2 minutes are up.
Oh yeah, we have lots of maps. We have lots of maps. Yep. Thousands of maps. And some maps cost thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, ancient maps. Do you know about anything about that, or are you too busy conning people? You have never freaking did a real research. Yeah. There are many maps. Many. The controllers, the elites. Yeah, some you can find, but they're too expensive. Too expensive. And there's so much of information and detail. Yeah, it's out of your head, Jiren.
Listen, or give me
All
a
right.
10, 20
I try to
seconds.
give you a little bit of a grace period after so that we're not
Thank you.
too strict. Austin, you have 2 minutes. The observation of the sky change where the floor is.
Yeah. So it's independent of physical measurements of the surface. It is. But my approach is that you don't just like turn your head to things. Like right. So I'm all for.
Yeah, you guys heard what he said, right? It's independent of measuring the ground. Yeah. He told you, your partner fucking told you that the sun is a ruler and an instrument to measure what? The ground, right? You don't get that, right? So you don't need any measuring tool than the sun, right? To tell you the exact circumference and the time it takes.
Or like trying to understand it, right? Because again, actually seeing the occultation of that star, well, that's actually technically in the sky. Now differences. We're using a physical measurement of the surface there, right? So we have a linear baseline, a specific angle that creates a straight line from observer to mountain peak to star, and there's an occultation. It's physical. And then hopefully there'll be a question about cell nav in here where I can hopefully explain and correct exactly the issue with the globe there. But I will just say, to answer the question more directly, it's like actually it doesn't. You don't prove the surface of the Earth strictly by making a singular celestial observation or any celestial observation for that matter. It requires a lot of presuppositions, and just frankly may not be the answer people want to hear. It is just an affirming the consequent. To say the 24-hour sun in Antarctica proves the globe requires a logical fallacy. It like literally requires it, and then shifting the burden appeal to incredulity, et cetera. So that's the issue with it. The reason that it doesn't prove what the ground is because it requires affirming the consequent and presupposing what you're seeing the sky from in the first place.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So another question, it's a nice follow-up to what you guys were just discussing here. Anonymous is asking, is cartography real? Why does every map of a large area require distortion?
Yeah, well, is it
This is for both of you. This is for both of you. So Jiren, you can go first.
Well, obviously, because the Earth is a sphere, and so no matter what map you ever make, will always have issues, because a sphere has a certain amount of surface area, and a flat piece of paper will always have more, and so you're always going to have distortions.
It depends on the map, all right? The new CGI maps, all right, the Google Earth and everything is going to have distortion because they are made through geomatics, right? Scanning, composites. That's why you have distortion, brother. Not because this is a freaking globe, right? And these things these geomatics prove and shows that there is no curve because they are scanning the land in strips, right? And cartography and geodetic surveys and all this stuff they do, right? There is no curvature taken into account, right? Depending on the area and how big or small it is, they have different ways to get every inch on a scale on the diagram of that area, whatever they are trying to map, Mr. Jiren. They even use triangles.
Okay, Austin.
I'm trying to get it to where we're both on the big screen we answer, but yeah, because it's simply a projection. You're trying to fit a projection. You're trying to fit measurements, usually typically using the sky, and then put it on a projection. So it's always going to have distortion, and just depends on how you move it around. The bipolar model, ironically, it's like exactly the same as the globe. You can move it around 5-10 degrees, whatever direction. It is literally just a distribution with a projection, right? It's just a projection, and you use a fictitious observer for a central point. So the answer is like, yeah, there's always distortion because they are just projections. They're inherently flawed, right? Like none of them are actual realities.
When you say fictitious,
Yeah, it's because of the imaging. Yeah, the distortions, right?
this observer, do you mean that they take the person to be at the center of the Earth?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, but that is the same angle that you'd be on the surface. It's the same angle.
Yeah, but you're just like admitting that, yeah, you just have to presuppose the idea of some fictitious observer in the center of a globe.
You don't have to. It could be on the surface. It'd be the same angle. You're just taking that and saying that it means something, but it doesn't mean anything because it's the same angle.
Well, if you actually utilize that method and then take the distances, then everything's 3,959 miles away from you in the sky.
Right. No, I'm saying that if you're talking about the angle from the fictitious observer to the celestial sphere is the same regardless of if you're at the middle or on the surface. because the line would go through that person on the surface, right?
Yeah, but you to know where you allegedly would be on the surface to get that angle, you have to actually have the sphere, thus the center of it, to go get that angle in the first place. You would say, yeah, if you do have the sphere, you assume the then you're on surface, it's the same. Yeah, because the angle has to still come out from the center to actually claim that that's what the angle is in relation to. It requires a fictitious observer in the center. Right.
So I guess
Yeah, it's triangulation. It's triangulation, right? That's how people in the old times, even now, they use bearings, they use triangulation, they use sextant, they use luminaries, they use constellations, they use polaris, all these things as a reference to triangulate where the hell you are, right? Because it's been done from thousands of years, right? Because it's so precise.
where I'm getting confused. I just want to go back to where when we keep talking about you're saying it's an affirming the consequent. Where I get confused, isn't that just a wording thing? So if we say if the Earth is a sphere of 3959 in circumference, then the horizon can be no more than blah 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 blah. When we just leave out refraction from that equation, but let's just leave the equation alone. So can't I word then my supposition the same way? So can I say if the Earth is flat and the sun goes around in a circle, in a clockwise circle, then there can be no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. There is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, so the Earth is not flat. What's wrong with? I just worded it exactly like your black swan. Why is that not okay?
I didn't even hear exactly how you said it.
Okay, so the black swan is if the Earth is a sphere of 3959 miles. So that's the presupposition. You have to make that assumption. Okay, if the Earth is a sphere and if it's 3959, then the horizon can only be this distance based on this math. We go out and observe and it's actually not that. Therefore, we've now falsified the globe. Okay, so if we change that to now, if the Earth is flat and it has a sun that goes around in 24 hours in a clockwise motion, then the south cannot have a sun that circles the opposite direction. And if it does, we go out and observe. Guess what? We went and saw that it does do that. Therefore,
That's what you say. That's what you guys are claiming, right? It's not happening. It's not happening. Just because you guys say so. So these fake flat earthers or this fake flat earther is going to wrap his brain around how the hell he's going to show that the 24-hour sun works on an AE map, right? Didn't happen. You don't need to show it, Austin, because it freaking didn't happen. And just because your business partner is saying so, you guys saw it, so the earth is not flat, right? Really?
the flat Earth has been falsified. What's different about my claim than the flat Earth?
Because for one, you're just like claiming there's like no apparent sun, and then strawmanning putting the argument or putting
You're
the claim
doing the same
on
thing with refraction.
No,
nothing here says nothing.
The
Here
globe
says
model
refraction.
is just claimed. There's just a definitive geometric claim. There's a physical geometric horizon. So like,
What do you think? So what's not claimed in a flat Earth? Do we claim that the sun goes around? Yes.
well,
So-
I mean,
so we've had an additional 2 minutes back and forth on top of each other's answers.
Let us finish that one though. I want to finish that because this has bothered me the whole time. Is that I don't understand how Nathan Oakley goes around telling
Hang
people.
on. Let me give you guys 3 minutes, and I'm going to pause the timer. Okay.
Thank you. So I just want to know why it's not the same. So in that sentence, if the Earth is a sphere, 3959, then the horizon can be no further. Okay, great. But what they're not mentioning there is that there's refraction that causes things to be higher up. So when we do go observe, if we do see it a little higher up, that doesn't falsify the globe. It means refraction is there. Now I'm just saying it doesn't mean that that's a fact. It means
We get it, Jiren. A bit of refraction at some smaller distance, yeah, it might affect something. There are world records of observations everywhere. You could have top 100 longest line of sights, right? Yeah, but you guys are not really interested in real science and real maths, right? Go and look up. Anybody can go and look up. Longest line of photography plus it's called over the horizon, right? These people are not even flat earthers. They have the whole freaking world in a way, have in a line of sight from 50, 100, 200, 300, 500, right? All the way from Europe to all the way till the end of Asia, right? But you guys are not interested in real science. Where does your refraction go? How much refraction are you going to put in 300 miles, in 400 miles? From a mountaintop to mountaintop. Forget about not even going to the cruising altitude. With your science of the curvature and 8 inches per square mile and doesn't work, because every 5 miles you go up, you can see 200 miles. Every 5 miles altitude, you see 200 miles. So every 5 more you add, you can multiply that. So once you go to 100 miles, you can see the eye horizon to the eye level up to 4,000 miles, because your curvature formula is not working. 4,000 miles in one direction. If you see the circumference, 8,000 miles. That's the real reality that you guys cannot debunk it.
Means if that's the claim by the globe, then we have to at least look into it, not just dismiss it. But when I try and put that into a flat Earth saying, now all of a sudden it's not allowed. I can't say if the Earth is flat, then and has a sun circling 24 hours in a clockwise formation. Those two things are part of the flat Earth model. So it's the same thing as saying if the Earth is a sphere 3959. Then they say, then the horizon can be no more than, well, then the sun cannot do backward circles in the south. It doesn't go along with our premise at the beginning of this. We went and observed it does do backward circles in the south, so therefore the Earth cannot be flat. So I agree. I would actually agree that that is not a correct statement, but I'm actually trying to point out more that the flat Earth statement is incorrect. That you can't just, because they didn't even take refraction into account. I don't understand how you go around telling other people that they are using an affirmative.
Yeah, refraction and gravity, right? Narnia. Show us some physical curvature, Jiren. Physical curvature, right? Geometric curvature, right? You guys are claiming it to be a ball, not us. Somewhere that curvature have to be, right? Oh, it's there, but you cannot see it, right? Really.
The consequence when that's what the flat Earth is doing. They're saying, oh, well, we don't see curvature, therefore the Earth's flat. Hey, we don't see water bend, therefore the Earth's flat.
Yeah, show it to us. Show it to us. Show it to us that horizon is physical. Show it to us. That curve is physical.
Are the ones doing that. No, that's, so I don't understand where there's this, oh, globe Earth is doing that, but the flat Earth, we just say that the Earth's not a globe. And no, you're going around making claims, and those claims are, not holding up when you actually, like, water doesn't bend. What? Water does bend. It's probably the most bendable substance that there is. Go pour it on your body.
Sure, it's. I'll let it be. Yeah, it really is bendable, right? What is more bendable, Jiren? In front of the controllers?
Bend around you? All right, go ahead.
Austin, what's your response here?
Okay, yeah, this is an argument from ignorance. So it's like X is true because you cannot prove that X is false. The assumption of a conclusion, like because of the lack of evidence to the contrary, right? And that's an argument from ignorance. But it's very specific. For one, I want to say this. You're saying like you didn't even account for refraction. You keep saying that. Like, okay, no, just because someone said a word because they needed to say that something is not where it's supposed to be, I mean that it's real. What type of refraction? Terrestrial refraction? How does that work? All of a sudden, when they change what refraction is and apply it to something that isn't even analogous, and take the actual physical horizon and say something's looming whenever the horizon's looming, when looming is a relation to the horizon, right? They just said the word refraction because the horizon wasn't where it's supposed to be. So when we say, yo, here's a physical geometric limitation based on the assumption that the Earth's a globe, the evidence doesn't match that. That's like a very rigid, specific geometric physical claim that comes from the globe. We tested it. It's false. It's falsified. And just saying the word refraction doesn't work, right?
Just saying the word falsified when you haven't taken into the account that what their explanation is.
That's the point. We did take it into account, and we actually have to ask them to even specify it. And when you actually get into the quote unquote expert that they cite, he actually uses planar geometry, and then he doesn't actually apply Snell's law. It's a singular medium differential. And then he actually, people on the internet totally exclude that part, and they just act like, oh, we know this works because it's refraction, and they claim it's looming when looming is in relation to the actual horizon. So and it's a category error, and they just reify the R value, right? And then they just expand it. They just take everything in question.
I just think that when you're talking about that particular issue, it's funny that Bo says he went out there and that was one observation of 6 months. So what Flat Earth seems to have done is gone out and waited until there was enough refraction that the back water was way up higher and it looks like the horizon is super far away. And so then we took that observation and said we refuted the globe, which is insane because you just got done saying.
Yeah, that's one of many. That's one of many observations where the horizon is seen where it shouldn't be, right? Horizon or whatever objects or landmass or towers or mountains, right? It's not only the horizon and the refraction you're speaking about, right? It depends on the altitude. It depends on the observer's location. It depends what is being observed. Is there anything to stand out at that distance to be seen, right? You want to see, even though if it's hundreds or few hundred miles, if you're seeing something, it's because the light is bouncing it off and you can see it in your retina, not because it's refracting and curving and coming back to your eyes, right? These long observations and line of sight are possible because you have objects at that magnitude which is able to see, right?
Saying that we don't take one observation and we don't say from that we destroyed something. We don't take the one observation of the sun and say that we proved the globe, but you will take the one observation of the 1 out of 180 days of a higher.
Oh yeah, and you are going to also take the fake observation and you're going to say it's the globe, right? You're doing the same shit, Jiren.
Higher horizon, and then say that falsifies the globe.
Dude, this is super important that you're not understanding the difference here. The globe model makes a very specific claim that, if the Earth, this is what the black swan is, if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, then the horizon is a physical geometric.
And why the fuck are you even wasting your time? Black swan and other observations. Weren't you fucking supposed to debate the TFE, right? Fallacy. Ad hominem, right?
Edge, physical obstruction, physical geometric horizon is at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That is the globe's claim. They made a positive, definitive,
mathematical,
specific claim. It's a very specific, it's a mathematical claim about a very real physical thing. It's a physical location.
Don't ever work that way.
This is the point. The globe makes that very specific claim. You're over here, then you say, well, flat Earth can't be true because if we assume that the sun's in an actual position and then I tell you what the map should be, then the sun shouldn't do this. That's not the same thing at all. There's a geometric refutation on the table because of a positive claim. It's physical, and refraction doesn't work for the black swan, by the way. But you keep saying the word. I explained why, because you actually have to assume the R value, and then it's a category error. You just extend it out infinitely because they say that it's looming. Looming is an effect in relation to the horizon.
Yeah, but you're just using words. Though. Well, is refraction real?
Dude, you just hit me with the I'm just using words, bro.
Well, you just used words, a bunch of words that don't make
word salad. Was that word salad?
I didn't want to say word salad. I didn't bring the little hidden
Yeah, that's what it is. If not, you would be debunking his bullshit, right? If you were a real flat earther, you're just word salad.
Valley
Come
Ranch
on, man.
with your face on. No, I mean,
All right, guys. All right, we've spent a lot of time on this one.
hey, go ahead. Go
We
ahead.
got quite a few questions here. The audience are thoroughly enjoying this. The questions are really rolling in here. This one is for Austin. Austin, what is nav cell and how does it apply?
Oh, so like dyslexic question. Cell nav.
NAVCELL, nav cell.
Okay, well, I'm saying like cell nav, like celestial navigation, right? So this is like a super important part, right? When we're talking about how I was explaining how that they always say 1 degree per 69 miles, they act like it's proof there's a globe. We can go out there, we know how to navigate perfectly because we can just assume we know there's a globe, so it's curving at a certain rate. So as I go across the surface, I'm tipping at a specific angle at a certain rate. So the stars are going to change based on that angle. 1 mile or 1 degree per 69 miles. That actually isn't true. It doesn't work like that. It regularly needs corrections, and they tell you can't even utilize the angles like all the way up to like roughly like 15 degrees, and then around even the 9 degrees. What? There should be no refraction looking straight up, right? But if there's actually curved visual space, we expect that. So then how do they correct it, right? So so if you say like, do they just use like an apparent raw angle or the celestial refraction corrected angle? And they're using the corrected angle, right? You're claiming that it's refraction. That's somehow what's going to fix it. So then is it a solution? Do we actually use certain variables for a refraction equation and that's how we fix it? No, they actually use like empirically derived solution, meaning like the answer is empirically derived. They actually use different formulas for every like angle band, right? Like every segment of the angles. So the input is just height and or angles. There's no temperature, there's no pressure at all in those corrections. So it proves it has nothing to do with refraction. It's actually an empirical.
Yep. Going shit that even you cannot prove it, Austin. Yep. That's what you are here for. That's what you were here for from the beginning, just to freaking con people. Yeah, and talk your word salad. That shit that even you cannot prove it. Yeah. As I said earlier in my podcast too. He's creating theoretic, flat out theoretical stuff, right? Instead of doing real tangible science, right? You could call it a flatter pseudoscience that he's creating, right?
Physical correction, right? Normal refraction has temperature and pressure. Celestial refraction does not. So that's a big problem, right? I mean, how does that work? And the way the answer is the way that it works. It's just because it needs to work. It just has to work. So that's what's so frustrating about it is that is brought up as if direct evidence for the globe. That's like it's terrible for the globe. Doesn't work at all. They claim refraction, but don't actually use refraction equations or variables. They don't even use like temperature and pressure. They're not even claiming like actual refraction, right? They're using empirically derived angle measurement corrections, and they're using planar geometry to do that. So, celestial navigation is not good for the globe at all.
All right, thank you, Austin. Jiren, did you want to address this one?
Yeah, I just he keeps saying that the 69 miles per degree doesn't work. But if that's the case, then we wouldn't have your latitude lines, which are all over the Earth. Wherever you live right now, you have a latitude. The reason you have that latitude is it's the angle from where you're at to the pole star. So clearly, everywhere is mapped, everywhere is correct. And if we take the distances between those lines, we will figure out that it's 69 miles for every single degree. And if you times that by 360, you get 24,901. So I don't know where you would ever start thinking that, oh no, they don't actually use it because of refraction. And when it.
Oh, yeah, because it's different projections, Jaren. And as I mentioned too, right? You can draw a grid and paste it on anything, and it's going to measure the same on any scale, right? So you guys try to wrap it around the globe, and some part works. Why? Because the real measurements are taken from the real ground, right? And you're trying to paste it on a globe, right? So some might work, but not everything.
We're not talking about that. Everybody's latitude is known, and it's their angle to the pole star. That's how we map the Earth. So again, for it not to work would be that you have people where they're not actually at. But we know that anybody who's at 37 degrees, go out tonight and measure the angle to Polaris. It will be 37 degrees. That's what it will be.
Oh yeah, because it has a perfection as a reference to the north, to the Polaris, Jiren. That is the reason it works, because it's so perfect, not because it has a curve. So there are two things. You're saying just because the longitude and latitude works, which morely it's because of the AE map, right? And you guys are trying to put that on a globe, yeah. And you're saying it's working, so the Earth is a globe, so there's a curvature. No, 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 no. It's different projections. So you're trying to project it on a globe, right? But the real distances and the calculation done on those longitudes and latitudes are correct.
And the other thing is, are you trying to use the Nathan Oakley line that we can't measure angles from a curved baseline? Is that what you kind of are saying something close to that, but I can't tell if it's what you're trying to say is the same thing? When you're saying that we,
No.
okay.
No, but the actual extension of the baseline is a problem for the globe. The actual accurate extension of it.
Yeah, because I don't think that's what they're actually taking it for, right? Because like if I were to ask you, if I went outside my house, if the Earth was a sphere or if it was flat, would I have the same outside my house? Be identical, right? There'd be no way.
Real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt, guys, but it looks like it shows that the webinar is about to end in 4 minutes. Is there a way that we can extend it, or will it automatically turn off?
Oh man, I don't think it should automatically turn off, but I'm gonna try to check it. Yikes. If anyone else is in here and can help at the same time, that'd be great. I'm gonna go try to change it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the pressure's on. We technically could start another one, but that would be really lame.
Can I pee?
4 hours, save.
I'm gonna go. Oh,
Did it change? Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. All right.
So, but if we went outside
We've got
my
about
house,
another minute on this, and we'll move on.
Thank you. So if I went outside my house, though, Austin, the Earth would not. I mean, the observations would not change if the Earth was flat or a sphere, correct? Of the size that they say.
Wait, what did you say?
So in my front yard, if the Earth was sphere or if it was flat, would that change my front yard? If the
No.
Earth was okay,
No.
so then we can take angles to stars from quote unquote curved base.
For sure, if the Earth is a globe, it's gonna be different. What the hell is this clown saying no? Right? When you look outside, if there's the Earth is a globe or Earth is flat, there's gonna be a real big difference. For sure. And if you take more altitude, you're gonna see more the difference, right?
Lines, because it wouldn't make a difference one way or the other. You're using the latitude, you're using the tangent, which is technically the flat Earth.
Well, we're technically, like, if you want to ask technically, like on the smallest, most imaginable scale ever, our front yards would be different technically, but practically,
Right, okay, but I'm talking about
practically,
angles. If we're taking an angle to Polaris.
technically, but like practically, no. But
Right.
the issue is that we utilize an extension of a horizontal baseline. And again, when we actually take these angles and they don't match, we have to make corrections. And what does the globe claim? The globe claims refraction, but do they actually account with refraction formulas? No, they don't take temperature and pressure and make the corrections. They actually take strictly height, strictly angles, and planar geometry to make the corrections. So to actually
That's
make
the
it
part
work,
that
you
I'm
have to
confused
make the Earth flat on top of acting like it's flat, on top of measuring like it's flat, and then you claim that's the proof it's a globe.
Well, that's what you would do if the globe was the size that they say. You wouldn't start treating it like a sphere when we don't even notice that. You would treat it like it's flat with a tangent. But I just have one question. You said again that if they have to make adjustments, nobody's making adjustments to their latitude, right? I mean, if I'm 30 degrees because that's my angle to the pole star, there's no adjustment to that. Nobody's adjusting that. If anybody, at least, I mean, I would like to hear somebody tell me that there's a location on the Earth that's off by more than 1 degree. I think that's even possible. Like you're telling me that there's somebody at 47 degrees that measures the angle to the polarity.
Yeah, because those measurements are taken on a level, right? On a flat, right? Even if you have high altitude plane images and photos, It's quite perfect, right? We have technology now to measure and scan and get the right numbers, right? But the problem is there, Jiren, they don't use any kind of curvature, not in the numbers and nothing, right? Just because the longitude and latitudes are matching doesn't mean it's a globe, because it's a defined area, right? It's flat Earth 2.0 to speak what is beyond those latitudes, right? It works because it's measured, and you guys are trying to put it and project it on a globe.
Person, it's 53 degrees. No.
No, no,
Well,
no,
that-
no.
that's
What I'm
saying. There is no refraction getting in the way of our latitude, and our latitude lines are a certain distance away from each other. And if you measure those out, they equal to the 24,901. So I get that you're saying, oh, that's just some arbitrary math. Well, no, it's not, because we have the Earth mapped. So
okay,
if
but
somebody-
longitude and latitude is how is that?
Oh yeah, you said very quickly, we have the Earth mapped. Dude, shows you a fucking map, right? Just a globe with a projection on a globe is not your map. With the same longitude and latitude pasted on a globe is not your model, Jaren. As I said, globe is the new kid on the block, and it needs to prove itself. You cannot say that the flat Earth map comes from a globe. No, no, no. You cannot say. Historically, if you go and see and check, we all know what all the ancients have believed, right? You guys won. That is 500 years. It's not even 500 years, but you guys are the last one, Jaren. So how is it going to happen? Just taking those longitude and latitude and putting on a globe, right? And saying, you see, it's a globe. You see? Because the longitudes and latitudes are right, right? So why the hell they don't take a globe in those vessels, in those fighter jets, in those big planes, in those big ships, right? In those submarines? Why they don't have a globe, Jaren?
How was that accomplished? It was reverse engineered from observations of the sky, right? And then they actually
Only way you would
apply
ever do it.
correction. They apply correction angles over long distances. Didn't actually go physically measure anything. They do calculative corrections over long distances, right? That's what they do. This is where we go all the way back to what we were talking about earlier, which is like, well, how are we actually seeing? Because you're presupposing we're seeing in perfectly straight lines infinitely, and that the only reason the stars are changing is because I'm tipping over on a ball, and we actually don't see that. So if I say the Earth's a plane and we don't see in perfectly straight geometry, it's curved visual space. You say, no, actually, we see in perfect straight lines infinitely far, and there's nothing between us and the stars is how we can see it, and they're crazy far away. Like, okay, let's go test it out. Which one matches reality? It's actually the first one, because when we start to get to like 15 or even more degrees close to the horizon, it all begins to get logarithmic and compressed in as if it was converging in curved visual space. It would not do that. And it's not just refraction, because again, it also that you're not allowed to use up close to 90. That's where the refraction was supposed to be the least when you're looking straight up, right? That's what they say. They say you look straight up, there should be basically no refraction.
Should
Yeah,
be
they cannot use close to 90 because, well, if it's curved visual space on both close to 90 and the edge, you would expect there to be an actual logarithmic change. It wouldn't be a 1-to-1 linear ratio, and that's what we see in reality. And conveniently, they'll never tell you that. We have to go look at the actual manuals and find out. Wait a minute, why did they tell me I can't use this? I thought it was super easy, 1 degree per 69 miles. It's not. This makes perfect sense. It's exactly what we expect if visual space is curved. So now we expect it off. It's real simple, like caveman math. Let's use straight lines. But that's what they say.
Gentlemen, we need to move on to
Yeah.
another question real quick. Casey's asking, I hear ball earthers routinely invoke the argument that flat earthers don't have a map. However, it would seem to require a king's commission for such an undertaking. What kind of assets and costs do you both believe are associated with the creation of map making?
Well,
Jeremy, you go first.
we've already done it. You can make observations of the sun. We know where the tropics are. We know where the equator is. Once you have that, you verify the continent shape, which we've pretty much already done, and the layout, which is pretty much already done.
Yeah, because it's done on a flat map already thousands of years ago, Jared. That's why, right? And the other is not gonna he's gonna say that it's not is of importance. We don't have the resources. Even flat earthers are fucking some of the people are doing this fucking purposely, right? No, we don't have a model, right? We will need a lot of resources to make a model and then the flat earth is gonna prove. No, nobody fucking needs to make a map. The map is already made. You will have to recognize, right? We don't need funding of anything because everything is already been scanned, right? One other thing is that they don't want to show you everything what exists, but whatever they are showing you is already mapped. What the fuck you gonna guys are gonna expecting after having the high altitude footage of the land beyond of the land? Why do you think the GPS and everything works, right? Why do you think the flight times, the ship times, the car, the everything is in minutes? Why? Because it's all been mapped. You guys are really being dumb expecting for a map. The map already exists, right? And very precise because it's a freaking images. Are you guys so dumb? You guys are expecting to somebody to make a cartograph or a map with a pen and a pencil or a painting? There are images. You don't even need to go 50,000 feet to take those photos. Even from few thousands of feet, images and scanning is showing you what the hell we are living on. You guys can't get it? What kind of resources we need? No, we already have everything mapped with imaging, with the technologies, right? Right from the ancient times with all those ancient maps to right now to the so-called Google Earth, which becomes a fucking imagination after few altitude, few thousand feet of altitude, it becomes a globe, right? But it's a real images, right? Of the real roads, the real thing. Not everything is perfect, but it works. Expecting for a map to prove flat earth. This is the thing. These two clowns, these two business partners are just trying to play good cop and bad cop and throwing the ball to each other and blah 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 and word salad so that the people con the fucking people, right? This is what it's all about. For these two business partners.
So there is the reason that they say there's no map is there's no map that matches real world observations. You can draw a flat Earth map and be happy with it if you want. The A map works for just drawing it, and it actually, if you look at Dave's app, it actually kind of shows where the sun would be above for the most part, as long as you don't go too far south. But regardless of that, it might be a king's undertaking, but it would be fruitless because we've already mapped the Earth.
That's the reason. We have already mapped it on a flat earth, right? On a level realm.
And so you're not going to come out with anything. If it's flat, then you would come out with the AE map. I mean, there's no other way. It doesn't matter what you map out. You're not going to get continents. Africa is not going to be on the other side of South America. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen because
That's how you see, and that's how it is as an AE map. At least the world we know of, the world we are allowed to, right? It might be totally a different thing beyond those latitudes. Could be totally something else happening there. But from where we can visit and from where we can know, it's what it is. And we don't need to draw it again because we have been already drawing it from a very long time. So don't expect just because you're saying now the flat earthers have a job to make a new map because Jiren think it's wrong. And his partner think that a map is wrong. So we need something else. Take this bullshit that we are giving you with this TFE, but we need for flat earthers a new map, a lot of resources. Oh, really?
the sun goes in the order that we know. So therefore, we know the layout of the Earth, and it has been tried on different shapes, and it only works on one. And that's will forever be that way. I've now realized that. There'll never be a way that you can match observations of the what we see with a flat world, because the Earth's not flat. So it's
All right, thank you,
unfortunate,
Jiren.
by the way. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, that's what you don't want, that the earth to be flat. And you can't help it that it is. That he's trying his best to twist it around on his globe. And you see how it works on a globe? No, it doesn't.
Austin, would you like to address this one? What kind of assets and costs do you believe are associated with the creation of map making?
That's something insane that's impossible to even fathom, for one, like free exploration. And then, of course, in today's day and age, probably lots of money as well. But it's much more about the resources, the amount.
Oh yeah, give him money and he's gonna make a map. Do a fundraising, Austin. There are a lot of dumb fucks out there who's gonna fucking give you money to make a map also now. Yeah, we need, how much money do we need, Austin? Lots, right? Lots. No. You fucking know very well that we don't need any map. We already have one, but we need a lot of money. Maybe if he organizes as a great explorer once again to go and explore and draw a map, yeah, with surveyors and cartographers and flights and right and drones, right? You want to rip off the community again on use? Really? We don't fucking need a map, right? We already have one.
Of people and the amount of time and that it would actually take to do it. It's not particularly realistic. Like, yeah, sure, we have some maps, but they're just maps. This is actually the problem, is people, Jiren, really, you think that there has to be an accurate map of reality, and there will never be one. There will never be one. There's not even one of the globe.
Oh yeah, there will never be one because your understanding is like that. So you think it's like that, right? Really? There was never gonna be one, right? So what you're saying, there was never gonna be one. So just telling the people that, yeah, flat Earth is never gonna make it. Shut the fuck up and speak the truth. There's never gonna be a map of real world, right? Maybe the extra lands, right? Maybe what lies beyond, right? But where we know of, the known world we know of, we already have a map. We already have pictures. We already have distances proved. We have the geography, the topography, and everything has been measured and calculated, right? Not only above the land, also under the sea, right? The continental shelves, the slopes, the abyssal plains, right? And many other topography of above the land and below the land. The technology is too advanced for you two clowns to be saying never is going to be a map. It already exists. Everything is being scanned. These fucking people think that people are stupid.
You think the globe is accurate, but you're
No,
correct. The globe,
you're not gonna let you say that.
wait. The globe is made from a coordinate system. The globe is made from a coordinate system. That's all that it is. You presuppose the actual sphere. Then you're going to look at the sky. You're going to reverse engineer the coordinate system. Then you're going to make the map based on that coordinate system. That's why you're going to always have distortion. It's just a projection, and you can move the center around, and then it changes. Am I
Are you
lagging?
saying the globe? The globe has. You just said that the globe is a projection, or is the globe an actual model of the Earth?
The map's a projection. All the maps are projections. That's
I'm
what I
not talking
said.
about a map. I'm talking about the globe Earth, the globe model with the 3D globe with some people on this side, some people on this side, some people upside down from the other people. That map, that globe model.
What about it?
Well, because it's
It's made from a coordinate system. And,
yeah, that's
and
how
then-
you would make it. That's how would you
Do
make
you not get the
Earth?
point though? It's not about how you would make anything. It's like we just make the coordinate system using the sky, reverse engineer it, and then we make the maps based on that. So you have to presuppose it again. You have to reify and affirm.
Sure, but that's what you do. If you're going to test things, you presuppose something and then see if it matches observations. So if we presuppose a flat Earth, we notice that it doesn't match observations. If you presuppose a globe, it does. That's the difference.
Well, first of all, coordinate systems are not the same as like physical datum, like physical measurements. And we actually take physical measurements and take actual datum. They're horizontal consistently. This is what we keep on talking about. We take the coordinate system, we presuppose the globe, we make a coordinate system, reverse engineer it. Then we're going to make projections and maps. That's why maps are so blown out of proportion in this discussion. They're useless. That doesn't matter. When it comes to the truth of the matter, it doesn't matter at all. Literally.
The map is flat, and a flat map can never match the real world. That's why.
Just in general, the maps are just projections. They're just merely conceptual.
Yeah, they're just projections of the real stuff, Austin, right? They do have importance, right? Globe is just one of the projections. You have Mercator, and there are many other projections and maps, right? But it's based on reality. It's based on physical level Earth topography, right?
The
Flat,
important part.
if the Earth was flat, wouldn't we be able to map it easily?
No. The problem is, again, the way that could we, in theory, sure, maybe, but the actual problem is the way that we did it, which is we took a coordinate system, we reify it, and then take coordinate systems based on that, and then they make a map, and then they create that projection, and we can move it around however we want to. But they don't take, again, this is the difference. Calculative assumption.
No, it's the fucking opposite, right? The coordinate systems were made on the physical land, right? In relation with the north and in relation to the magnetic fields, right? And the polaris, yeah. And the ley lines and the energetic lines. There are many other factors for those things to be given an imaginary lines and numbers, right? Because they are based on physical places, you dumb asses.
That creates the coordinate system, or physically, empirically measured datum on the surface, which always matches flat. This goes back to what we were talking about, where, okay, well, we can find out the truth of the matter. Let's go look and see what happens when we move along the Earth. When we move along the Earth, we cannot assume it's a globe. It doesn't work. We have to make corrections. Oh, it's refraction. Okay, then let's go. What do we have to correct for? Pressure and temperature and optical variables in the sky, right? No, that's not how we make the corrections. We make physical measurements, empirically derived corrections with just angles and height, and we have to fix and cook the books because the globe doesn't match. So that proves that the actual coordinate system isn't correct. So how do we get the coordinate system? Because however we got it isn't correct. The presupposition was that it's a globe. Then we made a celestial coordinate system. Then we made a map. Then we flattened that globe out. And people say, look, this flattened globe out is distorted. It's like, yeah, of course it is.
Right. And Austin, I got to jump in real quick.
Okay.
You're definitely on a roll, so I'm going to stop real quick. We got a few more questions that we need to get to. This one is from John, is asking for Jiren. Do you now believe that the weak force of gravity holds all southern oceans onto the bottom of the sphere? And if you do believe that, what type of gravity? Is it Einsteinian? Is it Newtonian?
Yeah, I think
gravity holds the atmosphere. Is it from being equilibrium with the vacuum of space?
I don't know. What seems to make this the most sense, because I think that the Earth proves itself to be a sphere. So therefore, the idea that the center of the Earth,
The Earth proves itself to be a sphere. That's it. Yeah. It proves itself to be a sphere because you want to, right? Nice science.
has some sort of attractive force, seems to make sense because that's what we experience. So there is no water being held to the bottom of the globe. That would require the pressure to be going the other direction. The water is being held to the globe like the water in the north is, like the water everywhere is. It's all the same. There is no difference. There's nobody who's upside down. To be upside down, you have to have your head where your feet should be. But on the Earth, your feet should be at the ground.
That's what your globe model claims, right? Water is sticking to a ball because of gravity. People on the equator are horizontal. The ones in the north are up, and the ones in the south are upside down, right? If it's a geometrical circle or a ball, and if you guys are claiming to be living on the surface, that's how it should be, right? Now, what you coming up with, Jiren?
towards the center of the earth. That's where you are. That's where everybody is. So there is nobody upside down. Now you could say, well, what about the guy way up there in the north versus the guy down there in the south, Jiren? Are they upside down compared to each other? That's a different story. That would be a yes. But they're not upside down themselves. So to make questions about how do we...
Yep, there's only up and down, X and Y. That's what it is, right? In relation to the one who's upside, no. Where are you guys at taking even the references of up and down then in your fake space, right? And all the other speeds and the positions in reference to what? We are on a geocentric cosmology. We have the Polaris, we have the constellations, we have the references, we have the luminaries, right? And the cyclic returns and equinoxes and solstices, right?
hold water? How do we hold boats? How do we hold ships? Is basically admitting that you don't have a full grasp of what they mean by gravity and how it works.
Yeah, because you fucking also don't understand what it is, because you're claiming it to be a force, which is not, right? We all know how Einstein tried to supersede the Newton, and now even the new ones are claiming that it's all bullshit. So it's always and was a speculation, right? And it was going to be. You guys can never prove that it's a force. And claim and call it and use it as a hot sauce, gravity, easy way out. Yeah, it's not happening.
Okay, thank you, Jiren. Austin, would you like to address this one?
Sorry, I was changing it over. Yeah, can you just remind me what it was?
Yeah, it's
Gravity.
Do we now believe the weak force of gravity holds all the southern oceans on the bottom of the sphere?
yeah.
And if it is gravity, what type, Einsteinian or Newtonian?
Sorry, I was so gay I forgot it. Obviously I don't believe in any of that nonsense. I don't believe in gravity's terribly debunked and impossible, and everything's intrinsically electric. And I guess this is kind of the point I was trying to make to Jiren, and more of a meta, right? Which is like, you're honing in on something that you're like, okay, I can't explain this on the flat earth, so it can't be flat. But it's like, okay, so what about all these other things that we know you're not going to be able to explain on the globe? Because you actually require gravity as the prerequisite to ever even claim it's a globe. And, inclusion directly to the question, no, I absolutely do not believe in that, because gravity's been debunked 1,000 times over. And simply because they need the globe, they need the heliocentric model, they need the Copernican principle, they had to come up with some crazy nonsense where, time and distances magically contract and slow down to match whatever they need for the Earth.
Do you think it could be something else, though? Like, there's a guy, I was just reading his theory the other day. I know it sounds crazy. It's called the trillion years theory. But it's the theory that there's a black hole at the middle of every sphere, that the black hole at the middle of the sun, black hole at the middle of the earth, and that's what's attracting things to it. So it's not gravity per se. So, I mean...
Oh, yeah. You see how open is Jiren? Wow. Jiren, we are impressed. You're so open for new theories, right? Prove your bullshit first. Yeah, trillion years theory. You guys love millions and billions and trillions and black holes and black matter and non-provable shit. Yeah, look up there. Look up there. Our gravity is working everywhere, on here and up there too. Can never expect real science from these clowns. Never.
That's where I kind of am saying that the Earth will always be a sphere, just like all your friends that are...
Yeah, just because you say so, Jiren, it's always going to be a sphere. Just because you say so, right? What is there to back it up?
Geocentrist, Robert Sungenis, Robert Bennett, all these PhD guys, they all believe the Earth is a sphere. Everybody, Tycho Brahe, Copernicus.
No, Mr. Jiren. You're having, I think, on your own debate in your channel, I really made it really clear what is geocentric means, right? Geo is Earth and centric So these guys want us people to believe the word geocentric. Just because the word geocentric, it becomes a globe. No, there is no curve or movement in the word geocentric. Geocentric, you guys wanted to believe that the earth comes in the middle with the word geocentric and everything else moving around it. No, geocentric means the earth is below and everything moves above, around it, around the pole star, Polaris. Everything cyclical and perfect cycles. That's what it means, geocentric. Just because you say to, you guys want to even take everything for you guys, right? Geocentric, earth center below. That's why we have the pole, Polaris. That's how we navigate. No matter how south you go, you're still taking reference of that North Polaris, of that 0 degree. That's how all vessels navigate. That's how planes fly, because of that north. That's why you can have so much problem in the south with the declination and all that shit, right? Because of the Polaris, because of the celestial positions, because of the constellations, because of the bearings they take. It's very precise. Geocentric. Hmm.
You name them, they all believe the Earth was a sphere, and there's a reason for that, because the Earth is a sphere.
No, you're just now you're just boldly appealed to majority.
Oh
and
no, it's
boldly
not appeal to majority. So you're saying that we have today a flat Earth theory that has no map, no model, no explanations, you can't even tell me what
The fuck is wrong with this guy? We have everything. Just because you have your fucking business partner who's there imitating to be like, yeah, I am really defending the flat earth, fucking sell out. He knows that we have a map. He knows that we have a model. But this is for entertainment purpose only, guys. This is entertainment. This is conning people. This is keeping them going in circles and keeping and not letting the community advance. Because these kind of clowns used to represent us.
the Earth looks like. You can't even say, oh, it looks like this, because what
Well, you
you'll be
did.
describing.
You appealed to majority. Now you're shifting the burden. I don't want to be super cutthroat and just hit you with what your fallacies you're using, but you are using lots of fallacies. But like to answer in good faith, like it's like, who cares? Actually, I talked to Dr. Bennett and he said that he sits in the rooms and he's like, wow, I don't know how to answer these reputations of the globe. He hasn't focused on that. He didn't say like he's for sure that the Earth's a globe. It has to be a globe. Da da da. But I want to ask the question everyone here wants to know from you, right? Like, do you think the Earth is moving?
It seems to make sense that's where you would get, easier observations. Otherwise, if you're geocentrist, then you have to move everything around the Earth at crazy speeds, faster than the speed of light. It seems kind of funny.
Dude, so do you not see why people are like, what's going on right now? Like that what that the evidence has shown that the Earth is not moving. We maybe will have another
Well,
debate
you
or something.
wouldn't have-
Real quick,
you
guys,
wouldn't-
let me jump
hold on,
in
but
with
you
this
wouldn't-
next question, which is exactly what you're talking about. Okay, Roger's asking, why are the measurements of the ether ignored? The MMX, the Miller, Bob, and the others, along with Aries failure, which shows the Earth is not in motion.
Okay, Jiren,
Jaron, would you like to go
Yeah,
first?
I mean, to me, it shows that the Earth is not in motion through any kind of an ether that they tried to test, at least the way they tested it. So again, to those things, that seems to me to be such a high level physics thing that's out of my wheelhouse. And it used to be important to me because I thought
Most of the thing, right? Most of the thing is beyond your understanding. Even flat earth, right, was Because the way you were doing your research, the way you're trying to wrap your brain around and all this shit and the TFE was showing really clearly that you don't have shit an idea, right? These guys never did research even before going to the TFE. Any kind of research. They were just buying time, talking bullshit, pretending to trying to understand if this happens and that happened. They were not really doing research. If there were real legit people who were behind this experiment and tried to prove, we all knew what would have been the result.
We were lied to about the shape of the earth or where we lived. And I no longer think that's the case. Now, I think they could be wrong. Obviously, I think they're wrong about dark matter, dark energy. Even there could be gravity issues. There could be, maybe we haven't gone to the moon. Maybe we can't get out of low Earth orbit. There's a lot of other things, but I'm not making those claims today. My claim is that the evidence shows us where we live. And I think that in order to believe that you live on a flat Earth, you have to then believe in a deceptive God. You have to believe that a God made the Earth answerable with one word, sphere, but it's
Oh, there comes the true colors of him. That's what he's doing, right? Because that's what it's all about. Or it's a creation or it's an accident. You are the one who's claiming that it's an accident. You are the, I think now you even might think that you come from monkeys, right? That you evolved from a monkey, right? Now Darwin maybe one of your favorite guys, right? Maybe now you believe that you come from the primordial soup, right?
really not. It's actually flat, and it's actually this, and well, no. Why would God by saying flat? Why would it be so easy to say, hey, how come it's an upside down?
Yeah, because flat earth destroys this, that is an accident, right? Everything from above to below, from microcosm to macrocosm, right? It shows that there's an intelligent design. It's a creation. And that's what it's all about, guys, in reality. Apart from all the control and all the things we want to speak about, why the conspiracy and this and that reason, the control, the manipulation of humanity, the reset, whatever you want to call it out. But in the end, it's all about this. The creator.
Sun and moon. Oh, you're upside down and you're on a ball. Oh, why is there backwards moving? Because you're on a ball. Oh, well, why is there a south celestial pole? Oh, because you're on a ball. Oh, so all the answers of you're on a ball suffice. Yet,
No, you are the one who's claiming that there's a South Pole. The same way nobody's buying from you the 24 hours, and also we aren't buying that there's a South Pole. As I said in the earlier episode, if you could have shown us everybody with your compass, you guys, maybe you would have won a Nobel Prize. But you don't even know how to fucking use a compass. And you are there in so-called Antarctica being an explorer representing the flat earth. Holy shit.
we're supposed to believe that that's not the truth. The truth is really that God made a flat earth, but just happened to make the mistake of making it also answerable by being on a sphere. Now, the difference is we can map the earth, we have it mapped on a sphere, and it matches every single.
Oh, he has a map, which is supposed to be a globe, but the flat earthers need to make a map. Yeah.
Observation, every one. And on a flat earth, it matches none. That's the difference. So you can keep believing in the flat earth if you want, but it's not going to come along. You're not going to, down the road, figure out that there's some answer, because look how long it's been. There's been no answer. There's a reason why
Oh, we have answers for everything, right? Just because your partner used that the fallacy, the same shit like independent of the replacement. He just talks bullshit because instead of saying that, he could prove that. But that's what he's for. He's there just to keep people entertained, right?
Blount in 1895 was saying, well, there is a southern sun, but we can't explain it. Well, now we're 150 years past that. And there hasn't even been an attempt because people have realized what I realized. Oh, any flat map will be the AE map. And the AE map doesn't match reality. Therefore, I hate to tell you, the earth cannot be flat. It's time to just grow up and say, okay, let's move on to actual real conspiracies and let's stop teaching kids lies.
Oh, yeah, we all know what the indoctrination has been going on. We all were part of it, Jiren. We all were taught that, right? And you are here of all that indoctrinated human beings on this fake fantasy globe. All the time and effort and energy and resources these people have put, however long, and you are here trying to lead it too now, aren't you, Jiren? Congratulations. Maybe it was part of your reincarnation here to do this shit, right? But sorry to tell you, Jiren, there are lots and lots of truthers out there, and you know the truth very well, right? If you were a fucking really serious guy who was a truth seeker, and you wouldn't be still here trying to fucking go against flat earth. You found your globe, get the fuck out. Go and do your shit with other conspiracy. You know very well what the earth is. That is the reason you guys made this shit show of TFE. It was a perfect catalyst for you to show your real colors, Mr. Jiren, right? The question is, right? Do you know that? Are you doing it willingly? Or you've been waiting from all this time to do this shit? That's what it looks like. Play your part, Jiren.
I did it for 10 years. It makes me sick that I thought so completely about the South being a lie that I based my entire idea of the earth on that on that point. And when I went and found out that that's not the case, now everything else is a mess. So I see what Austin's saying, where you're like, what's going on? Now you believe that we're spinning. Now you believe. No, if the earth is a ball.
Hey, shout out to Justin Johnson. Say thank you, Vikka. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that super chat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. We are happy. We are happy, Jiren, that you did a favor, right? As I said, also imagine having you playing your part for another even a fucking 6 months. Forget about a year or two, even 6 months more of this. So people need to really see what the fuck is happening, right? We don't need a map. We don't need a model because we have one, and we are no one to make one. This is technologies from the heavens, but it's too far for you clowns to even understand that, including Austin, right? They are taking out ancient sites and cultures and burning it up because it proves what this realm is. They cannot bury pyramids. If no, they would. And there are many, many other ancient sites and places and structures which shows what is this precise design, the sacred geometry, the cosmic alignment, right? All these ancient structures are a reflection of everything that is up above. and which shows what this cosmic place is. But this is all for Flat Earth 2.0 already.
It shape is a sphere, and that can be realized by yourself. You can go out tonight or sunset, watch the sunset, call a friend in the south, have them watch the sunset go the other direction, and you know you're on a sphere, because there's no flat map that will ever account for that. But the sphere model is exactly that. How would the Earth be
Yeah, thank you,
modeled?
Jiren, for
perfectly?
your answer.
Take it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting it up.
Austin, did you want to address this one? Why is measurements of ether ignored? MMX, Tate Miller, Bob, and many others, along with Aries failure.
Yeah, of course. And like Jiren knows the answer to this. It's because it actually has philosophical implications that the Earth is in a special and unique position. If the Earth is in the center of everything, how did it get there? And that is the answer as a creator. It was placed there. There was some type of intelligent design. You can actually prove that with the first thermodynamics. Doesn't matter though. Like that's why it's so glaringly obvious if the Earth is in the center that it was placed there, that they run away from it. And they say this, and Jiren, again, you know that as well. Like they just straight up tell you.
All geocentrists.
Wait, bro. I don't interrupt you, bro. Like they straight up tell you, right, why they do that. All geocentrists are globers. That doesn't matter. Like we're talking, like the question is, this like now I have beef with you, intellectual beef though, right? But my point is that it's like, how all of a sudden are you going to flip on that? Oh, maybe it makes more sense. It'd have to go faster than the speed of light. No, actually, even in the theory of relativity, according to his own equations, that the actual stars can go faster than the speed of light based on the presence of the strength of the gravitational field and the immensity of masses. In relativity itself, it can actually go faster than the speed of light. Actually, doesn't have to, because we have to presuppose distances to even claim that, and we have to claim the finite speed of light in the first.
What the fuck even you learn from this word salad bullshit? Yep. What? The same way the Globers, they go around and do mental gymnastic to try to wrap their brain around and to tell to the people that this is how it might work. The same shit he does, but on a flat earth side. This is what he does. Mental gymnastics.
First place. But MMX absolutely showed the Earth was not moving. So now we're in the world where we're just invoking insanity, right? Just pure insanity, that the measuring apparatus contracted, but it looks exactly the same size. Time slowed down, just coincidentally the exact right amount to make us think that the Earth is stationary, but it's actually not. But we can't just, I don't agree with that, but it could still be moving. That doesn't make any sense. Like, it isn't moving. The answer, and Aries failure proves definitively that it's not moving. And this is kind of like the issue. This is the issue. You said, but now I just thought we were lied to about the shape of the Earth. So now I don't really care about that. What do you mean? That's actually the inverse of how I feel, right? The most important part of it almost is that the Earth is stationary, because that means it's in the center.
Do you believe in God no matter what? You believe no matter what? So for me, there's a creator no matter what, whether the Earth is out amongst the galaxies or whether it's the central point. Neither of those is going to make me, it's not like if I found out that heliocentrism was real, I'd be like,
if you really believed in a creator, Jiren, you won't be doing what you're doing. Right? No amount of resource or whatever bullshit we can take with us, right? If you believe in a creator, and if you believe in judgment, or if you believe in good deeds and the rights of doing things right and not putting people in wrong direction, which really affects their life, you wouldn't be doing that if you really believe in a creator, because you really fast you said that. No, it doesn't matter if it's a globe or flat, I believe in a creator. No. The shit you were speaking about the creator, we all know that. Which shows what could be your understanding of a creator.
oh, there's no God, we're all here accidental. No, there's a God
That's
regardless.
the point. You just brought up the point about lying to children, and now you're saying it doesn't really matter now because I selfishly already believe in God. So who cares about children being told that we're flying infinitely to a vacuum? You say, what's it matter? But what about the 6-year-old who's being told that they're on time spec, it does fall free?
Hopefully, we'll teach your kids not to buy everything at school. That's one thing we should know right off the bat. We should know that already.
That isn't the point. Truth always matters. That was your whole point. And to answer the question directly and very concisely, the reason
Okay.
that it's ignored is because it has philosophical implications that the Earth
I
is in
agree
the
with that,
center.
right? We were on the same page.
Okay, well, it definitively shows that the Earth is not moving. Now, you have a stationary globe, and you know that that's really rough to deal with, and that's why you're like, well, maybe it is moving, because it just sounds
Well, I
ridiculous
think
that it's just
enough.
sitting there.
There's not enough people that have ever looked into it. There's not enough people that have thought about, could the Earth be at the center of everything and be spinning? Could it be? There's a lot of things that make you go, I don't know if that works. Well, it is.
Well, if it's spinning, it has to revolve at the same time. They absolutely would have done that if they could have done
You
that.
mean have to revolve at the same time.
Based on the actual celestial observations, if they're spinning, it has to be revolving.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna jump in real quick. We have
Well,
one.
I
we,
want
have
to
a couple, we have a few minutes left. Just a minute left, actually. And a couple of few questions that Jiren, do you want to take any more questions at this point, or
Go ahead.
you guys want to keep going on where you're? Okay. So we got a question here from Casey asking, "Hi, Jiren. It's actually to both you, but mostly to Jiren. Hi, Jiren. I appreciate you and Austin. I admit,
Thanks.
I'm embarrassed to admit that I've you for hundreds of hours. Thank you both. And Jiren, your change of mind was immediately following your trip. It would seem deep reflection would be necessary before concluding anything publicly. To me, your response seemed inorganic. Why didn't you ponder your view for a longer period?"
So that's multifaceted. But for one thing, I was the only one, if people remember, for 6 months prior to the trip, saying what it meant. That I was laying out the AE map that I believed in, said this is the map that I believe in. It's the map that Dave White uses for his app. It's what everybody believes in, even though now they pretend like they don't. We're not talking about Austin. Austin's never championed a model. But all flat earthers, this is why they have to say that TFE was fake.
Oh yeah, he was laying it out, right? He was laying it out already from 6 months because he knew what the fuck is gonna happen.
Is because they actually do believe in the AE map, and they actually do know that the sun circling down there would falsify it. They just don't want to come out and say it, so they'd rather just say that the trip didn't happen. This way, they don't have to worry about it. But the trip did happen, and the sun did do what falsifies the AE map. So it comes down to remind me of the question, the premise.
It's basically,
Why didn't you ponder longer
why
before
didn't
you?
you
Right,
take
right.
longer before you
Gotcha.
publicly announced your decision?
Got you. So for 6 months, I was the one telling everybody this, because it was big to me. I did see it as an opportunity to either prove flat Earth or to detriment it, meaning that if the sun did set down there, then the flat Earth is pretty much it. Now we know that it's the case because it now refutes the globe. The globe is falsified with a setting sun in the south. So that was a hope. Now, talking to Austin, we both understood that as time got closer to that trip, we were like, shit, as it gets closer, I'm starting to think it might be a 24-hour sun there. But I already knew, and this is why everybody was arguing with me from, Brother Sanchez and Z and all these guys, they were all upset at me for saying that if I go down there and see a sun circling, then I'm going to come back and say that the globe model better matches reality. And that's just how I felt, because the AE map I knew would be gone. And for 6 months, I sat there with paper trying to draw.
Why don't you tell us the real story, Jiren, that you were a plant right from the beginning, right from day one? Yeah, it just happens that fucking people fool you, or things happen, or the same with the behind the curve, right? You were doing a fucking experiment and things didn't work out, and yeah, and this thing also, right? Oh, this was a perfect, right? So many people knew that you were a shield from a very long time, Jaren, from a very long time that you were a sellout, right? Still, people gave you a chance. Oh, this, the editing mistake. Oh, they got. Yeah, but it's always been the same shit. It's always been the same shit with you, Jaren. So tell us the real story that you are a player right from the beginning, and that you are a very good actor, for sure. Yeah, to deceive all your close circle and people and the community, many people. For you are a really good actor. That's for sure, right? Most of your part is been played, but for sure you will have more roles to play, for sure. Now you are a glober. Now your job is to attack flat earther and be an example of how you are the one from leading the community to becoming a glober. This is the level of bullshit we have to face in the community, because there are still many out there pretending to be a flat earther. Austin is one of them. Many out there.
Trying to figure it out, and I just couldn't. I was like, oh my god, the tropics are a physical thing from the sun. Same thing with the equator, so we can't move those, and so are the continents. So therefore, it's an AE map every day or nothing. So that's why it was so easy. Now, when I got back and I saw everybody saying that it was a fake trip, I realized what we were dealing with, which was a
Zep, what are you saying? Zep Tepe is saying he pretended for 10 years. Oh, yeah. Because once you go flat, you don't globe back, right? We all know that. So, right from the start, oh, yeah, right from the start, that is the reason he acted as a victim in the behind the curve, trying to be the protagonist. He was the protagonist of trying to prove online in a documentary with all everybody, like, documenting it. And he got short, man. Fuck, what happened? Right? Make a ridicule in behind the curve in all the world. Part two, we have TFE right here, right? Oh man, he's so honest guy, man. He's trying to prove flat earther, but he's failing all the time. Damn. This guy's so legit. In the histories he's gonna go. Failed 2 times, and finally he accepted his reality. Holy shit.
a shell of the former flat Earth. The Bob Nodells, the Rob Skiba flat Earth, the research flat Earth is gone. There is nobody left like that. There's people like Stephen Alfonso who will just say that all flat maps predict a 24-hour sun. Completely and totally false. Everybody bought it, ran with it. That's what the new flat Earth is. St. Pierre coming up with basically the what's his name? Walter Bislin's model, where now we introduce a second sun that happens to be placed exactly where the globe model says that the one sun is, and we call that a flat map that has some sort of answer. Nope, that's just lying and cheating and stealing from the globe. So everywhere I looked, all I found was people saying, you didn't go, you're a liar, or it doesn't matter, it's a nothing burger. So I realized, people who are flat earthers will forever be flat earthers because they refuse to acknowledge when something goes against their model. They'll just call it fake, and they won't even deal with it. So there was nobody to go to the table with me. I thought, hey, we'll come back and we'll go to Zoom and we'll get together, go back to the drawing board and figure out what the map is. There's no such thing anymore. Flat earthers are so intolerant.
No, because we're not buying that bullshit from you, Jiren and Austin and Duffy and McToon and the whole gang. We aren't buying it.
And so convinced, they don't even do that anymore. They don't even sit down and discuss things. They already think they have all the answers. They know it. Go look at Facebook, look at comments, look at posts. They just make crazy, rude statements about people and say, oh, you stupid idiots, what, a boat's upside down? And they're just so sure of themselves. And it's a sad thing to see because I don't think.
Oh yeah, we are so sure because it's real science, because it's repeatable, it's testable, right? We have a lot of things to back it up. We have receipts in every science you want, Jiren, if you want to go in detail. We don't make shit up. We don't just hide things in numbers and fake formulas and pseudoscience. And everything you guys want to prove, you guys want to point it up there, right? All your Narnia lands. I think it's a big problem for Globe, because people are fucking waking up left and right. Not only ordinary people, and just like there are people, professionals are waking up on a daily basis, Jiren. You cannot stop that. Your TFE, your TFE with Mr. Will Duffy and Austin. You guys thought it's gonna slow it down, the ridicule. But no, people are really waking up. And the kind of people waking up, it's a really big red flag for the globe. Because you cannot argue with these people who have dedicated their lives to this. In every profession you can imagine, Jared, on a daily basis. Why? Because of technology. The same way the technology destroys your globe, from a telescope to the P900 to P1000 to any other gadgets and radar, and apart from all those shit, people are waking up in every science and telling the truth, what it is, and you guys cannot deny it and cannot deny it.
Think that they're right anymore. And I think that a lot of it is misunderstanding. And then there's just lies everywhere. You know that video where the astronaut's on the ISS and he drops a screw and it goes ding, ding, ding. And he goes, oh, we found out that's fake. A flat earther fake.
So the same technology, the same social media is also making this blow up. Now the technology is so likely that anybody can wake up even while making their coffee, and if they're having a good day or a bad day or a regular day, can go and tell the truth, because he's so pissed with the control and the way the controllers are trying to screw every human being here on the planet in every kind of way. People are gonna fucking trigger and wake up. So there are many people who have dedicated their life to all these kind of professions who are fucking enough and just go and request on a panel on TikTok and say, hey, I fucking dedicated my life to this profession. This is how it shows that the earth is not a globe. Good luck, Jiren and the controllers or whoever is pushing this bullshit to stop this. It's not stopping. Before it was here and there, people were thinking 10 times. Now the people don't care. With all the bullshit that's happened in the last 5 years, more people are waking up. Because now it's affecting everybody on an individual level. It doesn't matter where you are. It's time to speak the truth, because there is no way back. Because if we continue, we know what the fuck these people are trying to plan for us in the next 5 to 10 years.
Take that, they made that scene. You can find the original. It doesn't drop any screw.
Yeah.
So there's like all these, which are very
Thank you for your
dark.
answer,
I'm sorry.
Jaron. That's yeah, we're going up on 3 minutes there. And last one is actually for Austin here. Austin, wouldn't Occam's razor tell us that if the globe matches all observations in the sky and distances on the ground, but no flat map either without distortion, that it's most likely a sphere?
Okay.
This guy should debate instead of me. Jesus.
Yeah, but it actually doesn't. Occam's razor actually doesn't do that, right? That's why I originally said the best argument you could try to make about the 24-hour sun, for example, because you just make claims that aren't true. Matches all the observations in the sky. No, they don't. I just specifically detailed multiple observations it doesn't match, and they're always hand wave dismissed. I'll look into it later, or refraction. I don't need to explain how.
I didn't hear anything specifically.
So, yeah. Specifically the star that was occulted by the mountain, and specifically that you can't even use celestial navigation 1 degree per 69 miles. But this is what I'm saying. Please don't interrupt me, bro. Like, this is what is always done. It's like these holistic claims as if they're just true. We're supposed to grant them. It matches everything, doesn't match anything on the flat earth. I told people, by the way, to the Globers, I'm like, the best argument you could make about the sun, the 24-hour sun, is Occam's razor. That which requires the least amount of assumptions is most likely to be true. So if I say, oh, well, I go down there because I'm just tipped over, right? Because I will throw this in here. Well, hey, if there was actually a satanic force, if Satan's actually real, I know you might take beef with that. If he wanted to deceive the world, well, maybe he would have greater knowledge of the way that the world works, and he'd be able to absolutely hijack the fact that in the South things change. So that doesn't sound like you appeal to like a philosophical grounds there. But I'm just gonna say Occam's razor. Okay, the problem with that actually though, it sounds good because the other argument is just affirming the consequent. That's no good. But Occam's razor sounds good until you realize, oh, actually, it doesn't require the least amount of assumptions.
These people say Occam razor because it matches with the globe just because they say so. No, no, no. It's not like that. The Occam razor is that when you see something, that's what it is. You can presume and assume what it could be, but it's not like that.
Right? And it requires me believe that the sun is 9 million miles away, that the stars are an infinite distance away. Thus, there's nothing in between us so that we can see that. And that perspective doesn't affect the sky like it affects everything else with special pleading. Then I claim that actually my physical orientation is why I saw the sun that way. So it requires way more assumptions before you can talk about observing the sun in the first place. So Occam's razor doesn't even apply the 24-hour sun with the globe. So my answer is, if your hypothetical was true, if no observations ever matched, and yeah, sure, with specifically celestial observations, Occam's razor would benefit the globe, but that isn't actually the case. That isn't how it works at all.
Yeah, these guys say that it works on a globe. These guys are out of their mind, right? Even today and yesterday is alignment of four different luminaries or planets, right? Right now, as we speak, right? This fucking doesn't happen on a globe, right? And it's not that it's happening one time in 100 years. The last one was in February, and every now and then they just let us know the more important ones, but the alignments are happening every time. Even during eclipses, there are alignments happening, right? All this have been predicted for thousands of years, right? Then there are stones with all the 88 constellations, right? The Antikythera mechanism, right? All the different cycles, all predictable in cyclic patterns, which repeats exactly, including the eclipses, full solar, partial, everything we could imagine, right? From thousands of years. Just because these clowns are saying it works on a globe, it predicts on a globe. No, 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 it's not happening, right? Just taking analog calculations and making it digital and calling it it's predicting. No, no, no. It's been happening from thousands of years, right? Because it's so precise. It aligns with different structures, archaeoastrology.
So you're incorrect. In fact, celestial navigation observations, the angles to the star observations, the Seattle celestial theodolite observations with the mountain obscuring it, etc., actually perfectly match the flat Earth. We can predict where it's going to be based on the flat Earth using plane geometry, and it doesn't match the globe. So the base premise that you baked in there actually isn't correct. And I do just want to make this one more meta point right here. Is like, what based on the story that Jiren just said. And wait, can we do closings? Because I don't like
Did you guys, we didn't discuss it, but do you guys want to do closing?
sure, you
And
minute
how
closings
long?
or something.
3
Yeah,
minutes. Okay.
yeah, we'll just do that because I don't want to go too long. I want to kind of address some of the stuff that Jiren said though, right? Because he kind of went on a bit about the whole thing, and I want to kind of address it. But so to wrap that up, like, no, actually, Occam's razor doesn't apply because you made a claim that isn't true about always match doesn't match flat Earth. That isn't actually the case, and I've given multiple examples. So you're actually isolating a singular observation that requires multiple assumptions prior to you were even going to claim Occam's razor, which means it requires many assumptions. So Occam's razor doesn't apply. That's the direct answer.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh, so shout out to Jiren and FE. He said the circuits and the position of the celestial lights have been known long before the globe cult came around. Exactly. All the software and the hardware, this all comes from it's technologies from the heavens, right? But this is too much for these people. These people are too busy conning, right? There's so much of data and places and things which shows all this in reality. But these people are here just for the word salad and entertainment and to con people. They are not here to do the science.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. If you guys want to do closings, 3 minutes each. Jiren is the affirmative, so he would go first.
Okay. I think people can go back and look at the debate. I mean, if there were known anomalies with observations that the globe predicts, and what I'm just talking about is simple. Let's just sunrise, sunset angles and times. Those are predicted by the sphere, and they are match everywhere on the Earth. There's nowhere you could go and say, oh, now I look at Google Earth and it's off by 3 hours. When Austin's talking about the stars or something being off, we talk about tiny little bits, like a degree, something. So it's the Earth is still a sphere. If you're off a degree every once in a while, that's not going to make it flat. And to picture for yourself, an Earth that is flat is going to have much different geometry than an Earth that is a sphere. It meaning that you can't tell. Here's my new belief. I no longer think you can lie to people about the shape of the Earth unless they want to be lied to. Okay, what I mean by that is people can make observations. So if somebody comes and tells you you live on a dodecahedron, you can go out and make observations and figure out that you don't, because what the dodecahedron would call for isn't matching our real world.
Oh yeah, and it's not matching the globe. Just because you say so, just because you want to believe, just because you think, and just because you want people to believe that the TF is true, not working.
So if the Earth is not a sphere, then we would be able to show where observations of a location somewhere in the world doesn't match what the sphere says it will, and we don't see that. So
Oh yeah, show us Australia. Show us upside down. Show us leaning towers. Show us leaning buildings and trees and mountains. It's easy, right? It's just taking pictures of what exists. We are not asking for real, like, a lot of resources and gadgets and machinery and technology to show us. It's just images of what it is, of what you guys are saying. That's it. It's so easy, right? It's so easy to prove the globe always, but you guys aren't doing it.
even if Austin says that we do, he can't name one. Just name one. Just tell me, like, oh, well, in Jakarta, India, whatever, they're supposed to be at 27 degrees latitude, but actually the angle to the star is 38, something like that. That would be, then you'd say, oh, there's a problem with the globe. But the globe is perfect. The globe has complete symmetry, degrees south, 90 degrees north. Each place you move up, 80, 70, 60, is identical 6 months later from the other place. We have 12-hour days and 12-hour nights on the equinox for everybody. And then moving north.
Oh yeah, because it's so precise. That is the reason, right? You guys claiming it to be on a tilt with the rotation and the revolution. Things should be in different places, Jiren. If it was you guys claim that the Earth is doing with the sun and the positions of the luminaries and everything has to flip every 6 months. That's what we see.
Or south, the daylight hours change perfectly, meaning that in the summer for the north, you would have 0 daylight hours at the South Pole, and you would start moving your little marker up, and it would go up perfectly until you get to 24 hours of daylight at the North Pole. That's impossible on any other shape. The fact that you have the sun going different directions. For a flat Earth, that's a paradox. For a globe Earth, it's a feature of living on the globe. For me, again, I just want to end it with this. I'm not concerned yet with the spin, everything else yet, because I'm trying to get people to understand that we live on a sphere, that you can go figure that out yourself. You don't need help. You don't need mathematics. You don't need your...
That's what you're pushing. That's what you're pushing. Imaginary latitudes and longitudes working on your globe. That's what you're pushing. You're not giving us real science, real measurements, real curvature, real how gas pressure works, and endless list of things that you guys cannot prove. And just give us some imaginary stuff, gravity, refraction, fake formulas, right? And projections. And you see and saying how it works, right?
Professor or NASA or anybody, you can do it yourself. I was going to show you around to doing that, but I even put a GoPro on a globe, spun it, like they say, looked at the observations of the light and what it does, and then matched that, and it matches exactly what we see. So therefore...
Oh yeah, show to us your 24-hour sun only on Antarctica, and also eliminating the top part of the continents, right? Without lighting the Punta Arenas and the southern parts. Show us how that optical phenomena works on your globe.
Or we live on a sphere, it would be impossible that we didn't. And the only way to let them get away with supposedly lying about it is that if we let them, meaning that like you guys are, we all as flat earthers just believe they were lying to us, even though we can make observations that tell us that they're not. We can make observation. Now, I'm not saying all observation. I'm not saying that Austin's wrong about a lot of what he's saying about the shape of the earth is the globe will be globe forever. I hate to tell you, and believe me, it's unfortunate for me. I don't want it that way. I'm lost my channel. My channel's going to be gone. I'm going to be off of YouTube because I told truthers the truth. That's the problem.
No, because you sold out and you don't need to be here, right? For sure. That is the reason you sold out. That's why maybe you won't have a channel in the future if you give up. If you want to give up calling out even flat Earth, because you have turned into a glober, right? Or you're supposed to be gone, or you're going to continue attacking flat Earth, right? With all your legacy that you have left behind, right? A perfect example.
All right. Thank you, Jiren, for those closing statements. Austin, 3 minutes. I'll begin when you start talking. You're on mute.
Thank you. One of the things that you keep on saying goes against something that you've said for many, many years, and is that people knew that the Earth was flat for thousands of years without a model, and now all of a sudden we absolutely have to have one. We have to have one because of a singular, isolated observation, right? That the globe explanation for actually isn't even sufficient. It has insane, preposterous presuppositions before we even get to observing the sun. You just look at the final outcome, right? You don't even hold those previous presuppositions at any type of a scrutiny. And I'm just pointing out that you used to repeatedly and adamantly point out, dude, what? We don't have to have a
Justin Johnson is saying, Witsit and Judas playing good cop and bad cop. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mentioned it earlier too, right? This is just to people that the people don't do real stuff. This is what it's for, this shit show, right? We all know what the community should be doing for the next generation. At least the earlier generation left us the books and many different things. I hope, okay, we have some people putting out really good stuff. But other than that, these people are here that this debate continues, right? Which is not really taking us anywhere, right? So, because we all know there are many other real tangible things to be done, right? And as I said, we don't need to invent anything. Nothing is new under the sun, as I said, right? Everything is more than done for us by the creator in different ways, right? And all the technologies and everything we had, and we have.
a perfect model. For thousands of years, people knew the Earth was flat without a model. Now we need one specifically.
Oh, people knew that the Earth was flat without a model. Oh, yeah, really? Really, Austin? You want the people to believe, right? Because you think the people are dumb. This is the thing. You guys think that the people are dumb, right? Without a model. Oh, yeah, these guys are not what they're here for. Oh,
For one observation, everything else gets thrown out the window. But So if Jiren had a justified belief that the Earth was planar and stationary, then a 24-hour sun over his head in the south would not falsify either planar or stationary. It only does that if he's affirming the consequent and or did not have a justified belief that the Earth was planar and stationary. Therefore, why would anyone accept his new belief that it's a globe is a justified one, considering his previous belief could not have been justified? So basically, it's just the ontological premise in which you're reaching these conclusions are flawed intrinsically in both situations. And so what I will say in closing, this is what everyone's so perplexed about, is you keep what it sounds like to me is in the answer to the question of why you didn't take your time or whatever, and because I was there, bro, and I had your back, and I didn't turn on you, and I still haven't, and I'm not going to, but I was there, right, and I talked to you after the plane. I know it was a genuine, sincere.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna turn on his back because because you guys are partner in crime. Yeah, you all roll this shit out on everybody. A big psyop on one of the biggest community. Right? How the hell are you gonna back screw up on each other? So you all knew what the fuck you guys were doing.
Experience and moment that you had on the plane, and I was there, bro. I was there. And I got turned on just like you did. You may think you got it worse. I don't know. I think in a way maybe I got it worse. But this is the thing, right? It's like the reason that people are so perplexed and so confused is because seemingly what happened was you came back and like you said, we're going to go to the whiteboard. Let's get on Zoom meetings. Let's figure it out. Some of us did do that. You said that's not what happened. That's not what flat earthers did. Well, no, actually, some.
Oh yeah, this is what he was saying. The first thing, not even was fucking 20 hours and you guys were there in the line. We see a 24-hour sun. And the other, we need to go back to the drawing board. Oh yeah. Guys, it's a fucking soap opera in flat earth. This shit. What they try to pull on the community. People need to fucking see what the fuck are these people. There are more.
Some of us did do that. You have, again, you don't like it, but Joe Hanvey has shown many different possibilities. I've seen a few different possibilities, and simply the sun's in an apparent position. But you didn't actually do that. What you did was you come back and realize, yes, there were some people that absolutely that they pissed me off too. I've taken a break because these people just acted crazy, right? And they started attacking us, and then like you.
Oh yeah, because people were attacking you because there were many people expecting from you guys. Forget about Jiren, right? At least from you. You were promised a lot of terabyte of data and all this shit. The most of the shit what were uploading were the Globers, McToon and the other guys. What were you guys doing? You just put a fucking maybe a few weeks you put up, and we fucking caught you red-handed there with the seams. People are gonna be pissed. People were looking and finding shit left and right everywhere. So many people, for sure. And the people were pissed, and you guys were pissed that people didn't buy it, right?
You said they really did reify and internalize the AE model, and then they're like, wow, this would disprove it. So they just started calling us liars. They started attacking us. They did everything that we stood against or claimed to stand against when it came to the globe, right? Just presupposing a belief and internalizing it, and whatever doesn't go along with it, we're going to turn against it. But
yeah, you guys went as representatives with all the hype and everything, and you were getting pissed when people were asking questions. Really? Why the fuck did you go? You knew that the people are gonna be questioning this shit, but what you didn't knew was that they were gonna be questioning so much, and they're gonna be continuing. This is what you guys didn't expect. Just because you guys said, "Trust me, bro, we saw it." This is what you expected. At least 60-70%. right? Or 80%. But it's the opposite. Maybe 20, 30% might believe you guys, right? If you guys are lucky.
What you've now done is kind of stereotype and holistic all of us, throw us in a basket. This is why people are getting triggered with you, right? Because when you say things, you're like, you say flat earthers as if we all do that. We didn't all do anything, right? And so, yes, in a way, in the grand scheme of things, this is going to be way beneficial for flat Earth because, yeah, the cultish, like dishonest people popped their head out, and so we realized, whoa, dude, we were so focused on this phenomenon, the other.
Dishonest people, right? People can see who the fuck is dishonest.
Other side or with other people or with the mainstream, we didn't realize that they were right around us as well. And so that absolutely did happen. And I stand right beside you against those people that just all turned on us. But in conclusion, I will say this is the issue. You are basically just saying they can.
So they're expecting that the people turn on them. At least they accept it.
Only be this way, and you're not actually examining all the presuppositions baked in. You're not actually logically assessing it because it requires presuppositions to even make the final affirming of the consequent. That is a major point that I want you to think about because you are not you're all of a sudden able to hyper focus and isolate that singular observation and then put all of the other evidence aside, all the refutations, say, well, whatever the
Nope, not even that counts, Austin. No. You're not doing your job. It doesn't count. That single observation doesn't count because it didn't. It's bullshit.
globe answer is it must be true because I know it has to be a globe now, and that is not the
And
proper
that
way
is
to look
time.
at it at all.
Yeah, I agree with you, Austin, about the people. It's just I think I look at it and I see that there isn't the group of people that there was before. I know you're saying that there was and you were on Discord, but really what it comes down to is that when, let's say somebody in the future goes down now, they're not even going to want to go because of what happened to us. So what we've done is we're a cult that will not accept that their information might be wrong. They can't accept like, oh, there's an observation that goes against us. It was fake. We were some of the top flat earthers that there are.
No, it's fake because you guys went there for sure. That's also one of the biggest problem.
You and I don't know what number you want to put at, top 10, something like that. But they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, because you guys were put there. That is the reason. That is the reason you were in the top 10, right?
They threw us under the bus so fast. Why? Because they don't care about fixing their position. They already are right. So
yeah, and like we agree with that. Maybe we can do a show.
Oh yeah, another show, another gig, yeah, another con, right? Forget about it for right now. Yeah, it's true. The people are fucked up. People don't want to buy this. Even though we are saying, trust me, bro, people are not buying it. Fuck it.
And talk about that. We agree with that.
Sure.
But
because I think that's a problem. I think I get what you're saying, though. I get what
so
you're saying.
I'm gonna respond to your second closing with repeat the one thing. I want you to think about this. I'm just gonna repeat this thing that's written down. If Jiren had a justified belief that the Earth was planar and stationary, and then a 24-hour sun over his head in the south would not falsify either planar or stationary, it only does that if he is affirming the consequent and/or did not have a justified belief that the Earth was planar and stationary. Therefore, why would anyone accept his new belief that if it's a globe, that's a justified one, considering his previous belief could not have been justified? And I want you to just think about it. I mean, I'll copy and paste it to you and just think about it, right? Because it's like that's the issue. It's the actual route in which you're reading the conclusion.
Does it make sense that I would say that I thought that the South was a lie because of the map that I adhered to? Then I went looking for another map when I said, oh, if this map's falsified, what are we going to have? And then I said, oh, there is no other map. So there is only one flat Earth map, and it has been falsified. So you're right. You could be saying something true.
But there is only one map. All difference are variations. Your globe is just a projection of a flat map and not the vice versa. Even though you guys are claiming to, and also the representative saying he doesn't believe in any map. It's the same map. Don't expect anything else. We don't need anything else.
True, meaning that like, oh well, Jiren, you don't know that there's another map that's going to come out in the future. You're right. I don't know that there could be one, even though I've already.
No, there need to be a new map in the future. We already have images. Everything is scanned really well.
kind of worked it out that there couldn't be one. But
Nah,
you're
brother,
right.
that's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying that like you're putting way too much weight on projections and models in the first place, reifying them, internalizing them, and then implementing a false dilemma, a false binary. That's what you're
Oh yeah, there is where you can destroy this clown, but you're not gonna do that because he's your business partner.
doing. But look, we're gonna go back and forth
Let's go.
forever.
Let's
We
go.
should
I gotta
wrap,
get
we
out
should
of
wrap,
here.
we
So
should
as
wrap
a,
it up.
as a moderator and a passive observer of this conversation, I'm walking away with hearing that you both had a significant moment on an airplane on the way back in which Austin was turned on also.
You heard that too? I was wondering what the hell was going on there.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, it's okay. We knew what you
Like,
meant.
I was turned
but-
on too, man. I was turned on too. And
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah, you said,
Something about
Austin,
tea
you
you
said
were turned
Jiren
on
had a, I know you had a significant moment on the plane coming back, and I was turned on too. So yeah, we.
He's not great.
Yikes!
Thanks
I was trying to say
thanks for
I was,
bringing that up, by the way. Thanks for
I
bringing
was
that
trying
up.
to say I was
Yeah.
there too. I don't even know. I don't know.
It was pretty
Yikes.
hilarious.
I could bring up that AI picture of us. That was pretty nice. I won't do it.
Well,
Guys,
I
thank
will
you so
say,
much
can
for
we say this?
incredible
Like, can we
debate.
say, let's say a good faith thing? Like, look, we're not literally about to go to each other's house and fight. People need to chill
Right.
out because
need
it's
to chill
just
out.
like, it's just way over the top. People need to chill out on all the sides.
But yeah, people need to chill out and just continue with this entertainment show that we're gonna be putting it out every now and then when we need some resources, right? Yeah, we're gonna put up bullshit like this. Yeah. And create this new narrative over 24 hours.
And I'm just going to throw that out there. And that was one of the objectives with this debate as well. So
Yeah, I'm the same
Thank you,
person. I
guys.
just have a different belief, and I would love to still be friends with the people as before. I get why they don't want that, but certainly neither one of us was paid off. Neither one of us lied. Neither one of us.
Nobody would want to because you are so good at imitating all these years. You don't know the fuck what you're gonna do next, Jaren. That is the reason nobody fucking wants to associate with you. That's the reality. Face it. If you can fucking sell out for this, what else you can do? That is the reason. The other one is still there because he needs the business to continue and the shit show to continue because there have to be some kind of contract with Mr. Will Duffy. Will Duffy is not gonna let this guy so easily. He's gonna fucking squeeze every last bit of these guys.
Faked anything. So that's really what I would hope we come back and people are like, okay, they saw it. Let's now go forward with this. But we can't even. We're not even close to there. You got Vikka and you got Banjo and you got literally half the community.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nice one, Jaren. Oh yeah. Because you can see Vikka and Banjo see through this bullshit. And there are many more people who can see through the bullshit because people are not buying it. Because it was a clown show, a total clown show. So I think with this, we are almost done with this debacle review of failed attempt. Same as the TFE, this so-called debate, this soft ping pong debate, right, was a failed attempt. Oh yeah, guys. I know there are people who see this and not many wants to call it out and might think, oh, things happen, things. No. This is the reason these kind of things are happening and will happen if we don't see it and call it out. And as I said even earlier, TFE was a perfect catalyst for this to happen. There are many people who got these people from every way and showed how big of a clown show this was. And they want to continue the legacy with that, with this debate. And the debate, what is coming in 2 weeks with Mr. Will Duffy. Don't you think these guys are going to show up there? Depend what's the script for the debate, right? The fundraising, everything is going to be connected. It's going to continue. So it's time that the people wake up and see. And call it out. It's time. So yeah, people, there you have it. There you have it. The review. It took 4 parts, but still, so that the people get it, catch it, every word, the way these people are trying to put it out, the way these people want this to continue, and the thing that, wow, these people are doing some real research for the community and flat earth. Fucking plants, these were. And they are only bringing ridicule to the flat earth community. So if this guy was there for 10 years and he's now pretending still to be a flat earther, what else can we expect? Who else has been prepared for the next psyop? So, yep. But I also always believe that everything happens for a reason and everything happens for good. No matter how hard or how difficult or how frustrating it could be, in the end, it's for the good. It's for a reason. It's for our better, to become better, to understand better. We have spent enough of time with Sarah basics, right? And with the debates, right? We need to expand our research and give something out there for this flat earth legacy to continue in the right direction. And enough with the ridiculing and the bad publicity. But as I said, it's a red flag for a globe the way things are turning out with our present technology. So everything happens for a reason. Everything is coming to a singular point where things need to happen. In a way, it's happening. It's the purge. And yes, yep. In the end, truth always prevails. And we hope it does happen. So I think we're going to leave it for here for tonight, guys. Awesome. I want to thank everyone who had been in all those last episodes here in this review of this shit show. So, yep. And also, I want to thank everybody in the chat here for being here tonight with us. Amazing people. And yeah, every day. Yep. Hope the people get something out of it, and it helps us to try to be on the right direction, right? So, yep. Thank you, everybody. This is Vikka Draziv signing out. and love you all. And yep, TFE was the final fraud, and we are not buying it. So absolutely. See you all next week, guys. Have fun. Have a great week. Keep your eyes open. And yep, sometimes the resonate when we resonate, when it doesn't resonate, when it doesn't vibrate, when it doesn't vibes, we know something is wrong, right? So, absolutely, guys, have fun. Yep, have fun, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Love you all. Bye. Good night.